Hello everybody! Today's video is why being social is actually much easier than you think. Now, I used to be someone who would not speak to anybody, let alone my own family members, let alone people who I wanted to talk to, new people, maybe the receptionist over the counter, maybe some person next to me on the train or the bus, like anything like this, any other person in the real world. People would come over to my house, family, friends, new people. Like I just could not be open or social with them. I didn't know how to have a good conversation. Now, from there to the point I am now where I'm able to do that, I'm able to be much more confident and expressive and be able to, have fun and engage with other people. Here are the things that I learned that got me from point A to point B to where I am now. And so being social is actually very easy. Here is how we do it. Now, whether you're talking to maybe someone new or an old friend or someone you kind of know, one thing that you want to keep in your mind is that communication is only seen through these subcommunications. And so 93% of how you communicate to other people is going to be in the nonverbals, meaning not the actual words that you use, but everything else. And so this can still be the sound, and that would be the tonality of your voice, but it's also going to be things like your body language. It's going to be things like your eye contact, and it's going to be things like your facial expressions. And all of these are going to be representations of what is going on internally inside of your body and in your mind. And so if I'm talking to you and my tonality, body language, eye contact, and facial expressions is as it is right now, you would assume, okay, he kind of understands what he's talking about. He has some confidence in himself. He carries himself okay, like somewhat okay. Versus if I then talk to you in this type of way, hello. Today's video is going to be on subcommunications and how to talk easier. There's going to be, well, what is happening versus that and that. So there's a difference in the subcommunications here. And these are coming out in these forms, which is your expression. And so the more dynamic your tonality, body language, eye contact, and facial expression can be is how well you're able to express yourself. And a person who's not able to express themselves in these ways, like you saw before when I was kind of going like this, well, what happened? My tonality got a bit more quiet. It got a bit more unsure of myself. It got a bit more soft, a bit flat. And it doesn't mean to say that having a soft voice is not good. It's just, if I'm talking like this, I'm not going to, it doesn't sound like I have conviction in what I'm saying myself. One sec. So if I don't have conviction in what I'm saying, how can any other person believe what I'm saying? Right? It doesn't even sound like I believe it. So if I say, so for tonality specifically, if I were to end up in a high ending pitch, usually this is how you ask questions. And now if I was going to say something about myself, or this was my natural pitch as I talked, it was like this, and every time I talked, it was like this, and every time I spoke, it was like this. People are going to get a natural kind of vibe, energy, feeling about me that I'm unsure of what I'm saying. Because it doesn't sound like I'm sure of what I'm saying, versus an educational tone or more tone of authority, in which it goes down. And so this is like, well, now I know what I'm speaking of. I speak well of it. I do it. It sounds like I have conviction in myself. And the ends of my words are going down. Now, it's not a super huge thing that you have to fix. It's just you need to be able to have the conviction to speak like this sometimes. And if you are a guy and you have to hold your ground for whatever personal reason, right? You're under stress or tension, and you don't have the ability to have a commanding voice, that is going to not benefit you at all in life. Having a commanding voice is better than not having one, right? Having a voice that other people can listen to, want to listen to, is a powerful thing. And even if you are a girl, it doesn't mean speaking like this all the time. It just means you're going to sound more sure of yourself. I still have uptones in my voice. It's just, I'm aware that it's not the natural cadence of what I'm saying. And so this is going to come from a place of unsureness in yourself. I don't know what I'm saying, versus I'm more sure in what I'm saying. And when you ever go over here, people are just going to not even look at maybe he's unsure. They're going to say to themselves, this guy's unsure, or this girl's unsure of herself or himself. And so something like this, when you're unsure of yourself, a person doesn't even want to come into that world because they're unsure of that world. They're unsure of the energy you're providing. They're unsure of what is going on inside of you because you don't even know what's going on inside of you, right? But if I'm able to speak, and it doesn't have to be downwards like this, it just needs to have some confidence, some conviction in my voice. It has to be somewhat loud, somewhat loose, somewhat like not so stifled up in my voice like here, and I don't even know what it's just like very rigid, right? It's having that looseness, that dynamic in there. And even further, to be able to do that, to be able to have a more loose, loud voice, you need to have some confidence inside of you. Because for you to be more expressive, for you to express more, what's going to happen is that you're going to be seen more. But you need to be okay with being seen. So if I'm going to be a bit more expressive in my voice, speak like this, maybe speak a bit louder, hold court a little bit, better, well, I'm going to be seen more. And because of that, my fear of judgment, the perceptions of other people is going to rise. And if I'm, and then from there, tension inside my body and stuff is going to rise. But if I'm okay with this, if I'm okay with the fear of judgment, I'm okay with the tension, I'm okay with being seen, then I'll be okay expressing myself. This is what equals confidence. And this fear of judgment is something that people hold very subconsciously in themselves because it's a fear of judgment for so many things. And so many times do different parts of judgment come out. And so you may have a judgment on yourself, or you believe that other people perceive you. A judgment may be about your race, your appearance, your height, a facial feature, a physical feature, emotional features, maybe your family. This is a big one for me. Maybe your money, maybe your job, maybe your occupation, like so many things, right? You just have a fear of judgment on something that happened to you in 7th grade. Something happened to you in your childhood. Like there's so many fear of judgments that only you know, but they're coming out when you don't express yourself. Those fear of judgments come out and they stop you from expressing yourself or being as loose as you would like to be. Same with the body language, eye contact, and facial expressions. The best that you could have for these and the most attractive, like by definition, are ones that are more expressive. Now they're expressive and they're also competent to the moment too. So it's not that the most expressive person is the most confident person. Yes, technically yes, because they're able just to put themselves out there the most. But it's expression with competence too. And I don't even know if I spelled that right. But so this is competence to the moment, as in if I'm giving a presentation to someone, or someone's giving a presentation and I'm in the crowd, it is competent not to start yelling or be expressive in that moment. But if I'm in a, different setting and an event, a get together, well then it is competent to go and start talking to other people, right? And so it's having the ability to express yourself, but also being competent into what situation you are in too. Sorry. And so just for the tonality, things like volume, how loud you're speaking, doesn't have to be super loud, how loud, but like audible, maybe like 5% louder than what a normal person would talk at. Dynamic in the voice, meaning I can still come down to a whisper, but I can also make it big, and I also can have this kind of like fluidity with my voice, but also retract it at some times, and I can just use my voice very freely and loosely, right? and that comes out in your dynamics. So one thing I like to do is just like if someone says a word or I say a word, I just like to say that word again and repeat it, but in a funnier way. So like dynamic or loosely, loosely, it's loose, just something like that. Just saying the last word I said, but in a funnier way now, and just that just makes me chuckle. So I say it. And Bill Burr does that too, and every time he does it, I laugh my ass off, and so it's one of those things I picked up. Um, Dynamic, the looseness of it. Yeah, basically that. The looseness, maybe the calmness. There shouldn't be, however, like a forcing to get out. What you don't want is a force to get out. So like, hey, I was trying to get that over there. It just sounds like you're trying too much. And so it's having basically, I guess, a relaxedness to it. A relaxedness, but like a little bit of assertiveness at the back of it, right? So it's not like, yeah, hi, I was just wondering if I could. No, it's like, yeah, hi, I was wondering if I could. Much more relaxed, much more um calm, but it doesn't have that blah, blah. It more has that hi, nice to meet you. The volume's there, it's loose, it feels like it's coming out nice, it's calm, it's relaxed, but I'm not forcing it. And the volume here is hard because your voice genuinely may just like tighten up and you're not able to get the words out loud enough to be able to, get to that point. Oh my god, my nose is so stuffy. So now something for body language. Again, it's the exact same things. It's relaxed, it's calm, it's dynamic. And then with your body language, how this would look is it's more up straight. A good way to fix your posture very quickly, arms all the way up, like right above your head, and then all the way to the sides like this. And now your posture should be straight. Have your chest out a little bit. And when you stand like this, when you simply stand like this and you walk around like this, open body language like this, at a primordial level, at a primal time level, caveman shit, you're opening up your body you're opening up your neck, you're opening up your stomach, you're opening up all these exposing parts that people could attack you in, and you're opening them up and you're saying, yeah, it's okay. I don't mind. I don't believe you guys are a threat, and I believe I'll be okay with myself. And that is like the highest level of confidence because what it's showing is, hey, I'm okay, first of all, being attacked. So what does that say? That's like, why is he so open? Is he like 10 times stronger than everybody else that he's just okay, like not hiding anything? And then it's going to be like, and then also it's like, well, maybe he's just not assuming he would be attacked, which is a positive mindset because people in his past have been good to him. He's been good to other people. Okay, this guy is probably like a pretty cool, confident, fun person to be around since he's open, not expecting any attacks from anybody. Okay, awesome. That's what's happening at like a very primal level in your brain. This guy's open and loose. He probably doesn't expect bad things to happen. Bad things probably didn't happen in his past. Therefore, good. Therefore, this person's probably healthy. And so all these things are being communicated in your eye contact. Again, relaxed, calm, engaged. And so I look at you in your eyes, but it's more a relaxation. It's more calm. I'm not have that fidgetiness, but I'm still looking into your eyes. And when I can't hold it anymore, maybe I'll look to the side. And when I'm talking to your eyes a little bit. And if I can't hold it, I'll look away. But it's having that ability to engage with eye contact, look away. Engage in eye contact, have the relaxedness, and also communicate. And same thing for facial expressions, where it's like you need to be able to emote, to show these expressions on your face, because that is showing you're okay with other people looking at you and judging you, and you're okay communicating what you feel without the opinions about other people, which is confidence. So all those things are how you communicate. And you want to communicate to get better at these. You want to be able to communicate your thoughts and some of the things in your life by just using these. And so you should try communicating and building up your way of speaking to other people not by using words all the time. So words are amazing, but if you can communicate the same message in just like a grunt or some type of nonverbal, mm, mm, uh, mm, 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 that is going to be a better way to communicate. It's a more fun way of communicating. Same with your body language. If someone says something like kind of fun, teasing, playful to you, you can be like, ah, what the hell? Or you can be like, you can like maybe roll your eyes and then walk away. And that's another form of communicating the same message there. That you're playfully, going along with the tease. Eye contact. This is a great one. Like just having like maybe a joke is being said and you can just go, or you can misinterpret something and just use your eye contact to do it, or you're suspicious about someone and you can just go. And it's about communicating that through the subcommunication. Same thing with the facial expressions. So that's how you're going to be able to build on this. And this is 93% of what other people are, when they look at you, are basing your whole personality off of this. And this is your vibe, your energy, the type of personality you give off to other people. And the other 7% is the actual words you say. And more, even deeper in that, like the type of word and word associations that are meant with that. And so if I always talk about death and heavy metal and all this kind of like that, those kind of stuff, you're going to have a certain type of, personality about me. But it's only because you have death metal and heavy metal and motorcycles and stuff like that, you're going to have a perception of what those words are, what they mean, some kind of like pictures and images that go with those type of words, some type of other things you relate those words to, and then you'll get a picture of who I am based on the type of words that I use, right? And how I describe things, and how I frame things. But most importantly is focusing on that subcommunication, being able to express yourself and being okay with that fear of judgment. That's what the biggest thing about your social and ability to communicate will be based on. And now you want to use the words that you have competently and to be pretty smart with them socially. And the way you're going to do that is be engaged and be interested. And so if you're going to go up and talk to a random person, that's a pretty difficult thing to do. And you may not know what to talk about. You may get stuck in your head. And those are all valid things. And so if you have no idea what to talk about to someone and you want to go talk to them, that is a more different thing than you actually having an interest in someone and then going up to talk to them. And so I'll give you some examples, okay? I'm at the gym, and I like to talk to some people at the gym. I like to have my headphones in sometimes too. But there's some guy doing a neck exercise like this, and it just caught my attention because those are like, not a lot of people do them, let alone know about them. And so whenever I see someone doing them, I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. Like, why are you doing this? I'm actually engaged and I'm interested in what was happening. And so I went up to those people, like two guys doing it. I was like, oh my God, you're doing a neck exercise. I don't see anybody doing this. Like, how do you know the forbidden exercise, right? And then I just asked them a couple questions. And they're like, oh yeah, we do it for boxing. It's a pretty fun thing. My friend just does it because he follows my workouts. Yeah. Not a long conversation at all, pretty quick. I try to ask some more questions, but just from their body language, I can tell that they were like not super into a conversation right there or super engaged in talking back. And so I'm not going to continue that conversation. However, I walked up there with a genuine interest, and that made me want to learn more, to inquire more about them. And I could have, he said he did boxing. I could have said like, I could have talked more about, oh, what boxing do you go to? I have a friend who boxes, more stuff like that, but I didn't really give a shit. And also his body language and his tonality and stuff just wasn't super engaging. And so I was like, yeah, this guy's kind of boring to talk to anyways. And so I was like, okay, well, bye, you have a good one. But I was genuinely interested about what he was doing, and I went up and wanted to talk to him. Now, there's other people at the gym who I don't really maybe have that big of an interest to go up and talk to, but I'll still go and do it because I like to, and I like to give compliments and be friendly to other people. And so there's this other guy, and he had a pretty nice physique, and I said, "Oh my God, bro, your calves are like amazing. Your physique is really nice." And we got into a nice conversation there too. But because there was no natural interest, I didn't really care about carrying the conversation or going further. And also during that conversation, you know, again, it's kind of boring. Like when you learn fun, playful social skills and you're able to communicate not just like super logically, but have fun, be fun. Other people genuinely aren't like as fun to talk to. Like it takes like a special type of person for me to be like, oh, I'm actually engaged in this conversation now, because it's usually me who is bringing the fun, right? It's harder to find another person who communicates that fun back, because people are stifled and have their own anxiety and their own self, right? So I don't blame anybody. But it just goes to show when you're interested in someone, you'll have that wanting to go up and start a conversation. You'll have that wanting to ask a further question, and that'll be there. Versus someone you don't want to and you're kind of forcing it, then it's like, yeah, I don't know. Then it's like, then your body is like, I don't really want to do this. You're going to force me, which builds the discipline muscle, which is really good. But it's like, yeah, I don't really want to. It's kind of forcing me to go up. Yeah. Now, if you see a woman that you like or a guy that you like and you want to talk to, was there something about them that you like, right? It probably is. It's probably maybe their attractiveness or their style or their clothes or something about them that they're doing. For those guys, wasn't attracted to them, but they're doing an exercise in which I found very interesting and I related to a lot. Right? So things that are interesting, and then finding things that are relatable. So people who are relatable are going to be more interesting to you. And if you have more knowledge about certain topics, like you should have your core fundamental topics that you like. Like I like working out, I like chess, I like some video games, I like some business content, I like psychology. There's a whole bunch of things that I like, right? Spirituality, philosophy, things like that. Like I'll have nice topics about those. Things like F1 or NASCAR, I don't have the biggest interest in that. But if someone else does, I'm more than willing to be interested in their interest. If they're a fun person to talk to, right? They're fun at describing it, stuff like that. Then I'll be more than interested in talking to them and being interested in their passion. And so when you're genuinely interested in someone, this is going to make the feeling way easier. And now it's kind of like, how do you make yourself look at other people and be like, that is so interesting, I need to go up and talk to that person? Well, it's about the things that you have relatable in your life that you see them doing or you see them have. I remember at my first job, someone had, like, there's this guy who had really cool style. Like, he had nice rings and tattoos and hairs and just a nice style about him. I was like, I wanted to go and talk to that person. I should have said, bro, your style is like a really amazing. It's really cool. I like it. I appreciate it. It's like the jacket, the rings, like it's very well put together. I like what's going on here. Like who's your name? Who are you? What are you doing? Now, not asking all those questions back to back, but it's like just that tiny thing makes me interested in this human being. I want to now connect with this human being more, see if there's any more relatability that we have. And so, just like I just said there before, like I want to get to know them more, I'm asking more questions. It's also hitting back with your personal input and things from your life. And so this should be stories, opinions, active listening, adding maybe like fun, playful talk, playful banter, cool things that you've done. So all these things are being communicated, and these are all things that you can say back to another person. And so you're asking a question. I'll give you another example. From that guy talking about the exercises, I was like, yeah, I usually always, because they were doing it in like the main room, and there's another room in the gym that's a bit more private. And so I just told like a very quick story. Yeah, I just saw you guys doing them. I do them myself, but I usually go in the other room, try to have some privacy, because they look a bit weird. Do you do the like the back neck exercise or just the front, eh? Just the quickest story of how I go into a different room and do the exercises, where I like to have a bit more privacy to myself. And so that's telling a little bit about my personality. I respect my privacy, um, and they may interpret it differently, but at least it's showing some things about my personality. It's like, okay, this guy works out to his neck. He goes into a different room. He does it. Just the quickest story, but it shows some personality instead of showing and being quiet. Opinions. I love doing those. A lot of people neglect the neck exercise, but it's actually one of the most important things, especially for a guy to train on. Other things should be like, F1s have big necks, boxers have big necks because they kind of protects them from getting hit or from whiplash and getting knocked out. So that's a very interesting thing that, is the reason why your neck is thicker. Active listening, like looking at them, being engaged, nodding your head, yep. Repeating the last word that they said sometimes. That's a really good one. When you don't know what to say, you can just repeat the last word of that other person's sentence. And it's a really good one because it kind of like wraps up what they said. It summarizes. It shows them that you were listening to what they said. You summarize kind of what they said and all. And even more, like, it'll actually want them to engage more because you did that. And so they'll actually usually keep on going. They'll give you more because they're like, oh, this guy actually does want to listen to what I'm saying. Versus, mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, it's like, do you even want to talk to me, right? Versus, oh, that's amazing. Oh, you did have the boxing. Right? And it's like, okay, this guy's actively listening. He does want to listen to me. It's going to make that other person feel special and open up more to you and put that fear of judgment lower. Fun and playful banter. This is like making jokes that are funny to you. Trying to think of maybe something I said here. Like to me, like a joke, a funny story or joke I have is like, because when I shave, or even when I don't shave, I look very young, even though I'm 23 years old. I look like a very young guy. A very fun, playful story I tell is, when I'm driving, middle-aged women will call at me and say, "Honey, are you allowed to be driving?" I have to explain to them like, "I'm okay, man. I'm 23 years old. I'll be okay." Um, and that's happened a couple of times, and so that's like just a funny thing that goes on where I'm okay teasing myself. Um, and it's a story from what happens out of my day. And even like closer than that, it shows that other people engage with me. Other people are okay talking to me. Other people are okay and actually have fun, like conversing and communicating with me, which is another very attractive trait. It's one of the most attractive traits for people to have is other people like them. That's probably the most attractive trait. Other people like them. And when other people like you need to be a fun, likable person. You need to like and be fun with other people. Like it's not just like a 1-0. You're fun to me, I'm not fun to you. It's a value exchange of I'm fun to you, I'm playful to you, I'm a good person to you. And then in return, you can give it if you want. And you just give that to everybody. And then the people who give it back, you're like, awesome. People who don't give it back, you're like, whatever. I'm just gonna focus on the people who do. Fun, playful banter. Like even like so quick is just adding like a little bit of disagreement, adding a little bit of like suspicion. So if someone asks me, or if I ask someone like, oh, what car do you have? I have a Chrysler 300. Chrysler 300. What are you, a fucking mafia boss? Making that kind of like hyperbole, that analogy, that well, I don't think that's an analogy, but like making that kind of comparison. Yeah, I love the trees. Are you one of those tree huggers who hugs every tree as they go through a nature walk? That's funny. That's like making a tangible thing that's more logical and making it into the playful, expanding it so much that it's now playful and illogical, and that's how that funny, playful banter comes in. And these are just like fun things to say. I think another fun thing to do is just remarks that you have, like just say them. Don't be so held up about yourself. That's the FOJ coming out. Fear of judgment. Anytime you feel like you're being held back from saying something, that's your fear of judgment. I don't know if this other person will like it or react positively if I say this, so I'm going to hold it back and be too scared of what the outcome could be, which is your FOJ. And so this is how you respond personally. This is how you implement cool stuff. You be interested. You have good subcommunications when you talk. Your social skills are going to be easier than ever. And you do that just very small. It doesn't have to be long conversations. Hey man, just you have a nice style on today. Your jacket looks cool. And then asking a follow-up question like, are you doing anything specific? Are you here for a reason? Are you picking up this? A good way to start a conversation is a statement or question. A question statement. And so this can be on so many things. So people put on clothes, right? There's so many things that you can talk about someone's clothes, usually most of the time. If not, like you can just be like again, it's lowering the bar too. So okay, let me put those. It's this, and it's lowering the bar for what is acceptable to say. So you need to lower the bar literally to ground zero and then below. Like you need to be able to say like crabs are tasty in the middle of a conversation. Like you just need to be able to say that. Like, okay, I was at the dentist the other day and they have like this, they don't have an actual aquarium, but it's a TV of like sea life going on. I was just saying like, oh my God, that's so relaxing. And it's just like, I feel so like relaxed just looking at this TV. It's just like putting me to sleep. I love it. And then I told a short story about how my old dentist had an aquarium and I'd always look at it when I was a kid. But like, I'm just putting my opinions in there. It's such a relaxing sea. Like, I just love it. It's so nice. It's, my own opinions. It's not fucking insane. I'm just filling the space. I'm just saying what the fuck I wanted to say. The bar is not set so high. But from there could come more conversation. From there could come just like a random joke because my brain is already spinning. So I'm looking at that fish aquarium. I'm looking at that TV, and now my brain snaps to, I love eating crab. crab is one of my favorite foods, by the way. That guy on TV is cute, but he makes a great dinner too. And so it's just lowering that bar. Your brain will start working, start connecting other things, having that fear of judgment to be able to express and say those things, right? So a statement question is making a statement about something and then following it up with a question. And so, like that guy who's doing the neck exercises, I could come up and say, hey, you guys are those neck exercises you're doing? Yeah, it's a good question. It engages them. But maybe you want to add some of your own personal, beliefs or value to the conversation first. And so, hey, those are neck exercises. I love those exercises. I usually do them by myself. Why are you doing them? Now that you've added a little bit more, it allows that person to be like, okay, I can open up a little bit more because this person's opening up and they feel okay opening up. That may make me open up a little bit more, right? And so they're gauging you and you should be gauging them. And it's not like I'm going to give you less attention or less of this. It's understanding when to take away pressure, when to take away kind of like you're being too much, you're being too forward, you're being too intense maybe, and understanding how to reel that back, right? And so a good example of this is if you give a compliment to someone, like you're looking really good, man, that can put a lot of pressure on them. You're super funny, you're super kind, you're the best person I ever met. That can put a lot of pressure on someone. Great compliment, but it can put a lot of pressure on them because now they feel like they have to live to those standards. And so you can still put that compliment in, but take away that pressure that compliment has by then putting in like a tease or a joke or again a hyperbole or maybe a callback or something like that to ease the pressure. And so humor is going to take away tension and tension is built by that more intensity that people have. And so I give you a compliment, you're amazing, you're beautiful, you're everything, you're the smartest person in the world. You know, this can be that literally anybody. Literally anybody. Literally anybody. But, you know, you don't wear the same socks. You don't wear the same socks. Or you're and then the humor is supposed to be like not something serious at all. But you can only do maybe 35 at the gym. You can, but you drink way too much coffee. But you're a coffee addict. But you show up 2 minutes late for work every day. But you're always taking up, the space in the fridge. Anything like that, right? Amazing, amazing compliment. Puts a lot of pressure on that person, but it's a really good compliment. Uses humor too to take away that pressure, but still keep the good of that compliment there. It's a very nice thing to do. So that's a great thing I say too. And with that, guys, that has been this video on how to be more social. If you implement these steps slowly by slowly, bit by bit, you will become more comfortable talking to other people, starting conversations, knowing what to do in those conversations to be more social, to open up, to have that other person open up, connect with you, have you connect with them, have a good conversation, have them be interested in you, you interested in them. If you want more help with this, go book a call below. Links in the description. Ask me any questions on my Instagram. Links also in the description. And with that, guys, peace out. Bye. I love you.